might be worth informing the police that that's what's been the arrangement, just in case council don't communicate that to the police. It's being honourable to the police to be able to get on with their job and not have to come out and find it out by coming over here.
Yeah, I think if you go to them and tell them what's going on, instead of them coming to you, then in their eyes you've got time to hide things.
Should we go down to the cop shop?
The council?
Yeah.
Ask for an audience with the mayor. Yeah. The mayor is not available until the night, and they're going to get back to us.
Good response.
Yeah, it was.
The reason why we've managed to last 82 days is simply because there must be a separation from what you're thinking and what you have to do. You have to keep a tent site in order. You know, you have to. You can't not. When the rain comes, you've got to bail. When the poles are broken, you've got to fix them. When people are hungry, you've got to feed them.
The police attitude has been really good to the people of the Occupy Wellington. We've had some problems up here, and we've solved them through the police being mediators. No one has been arrested.
They know we can't touch them. So what do? What do I do? Grab a whole lot of water and pour it all over them. I'm not allowed to smack them in the house and the heat and send them away. I'll just pour water on them. Yeah.
So,
more political way of thinking for me anyway.
Today is the 4th of January, which was the day we were supposed to be evicted.
You know, everybody's good at something, but once people realise that they're allowed to give what they can and be welcome for their faults as well as what they can give, then you really become a group that's together. For me, the thing is that we've done the hard yards, and now it's a time where we've got to day 82, we've got to the first eviction, going past it. We've still got tents here, we've still got people who want to be here. No matter what they look like, we are still occupying. They come on now, so they come
on. Just briefly, a few notes about the Occupy movement. When the Occupy Wall Street began in North America, a hacker group called Anonymous Collective advertised the protests on the interweb. They talk behind a Guy Fawkes mask using text-to-speech computer programs. The main argument is that just 1% of elite bankers at Wall Street dictate conditions to the other 99% of world populations. People are now expected to work for the same wages as was paid in the 1970s. A minimum livable wage is only fair. Mainstream media keeps away from Occupy topics. They simply declare that Occupy has made no clear demands. This has left many in society asking a lot of questions. What is Occupy to camp in the Civic Square, dictating to the rest of us how to live our lives? Looking for answers, BTS took a video camera down to Civic Square in Wellington, the capital of New Zealand. The hope is that by listening, we might get some idea as to what is going on with this global movement. But on day 82, with a pending eviction, the focus was a lot more local. This video is of just one day, in one of these global occupations. There are many complex issues. Maintaining a sense of unity and an open mind is quite a challenge for the occupiers, and in editing this video, to be impartial is worth a try. Not only was the weather calm on day 82 at Occupy Wellington,
I mean, it's been a long, hard day already. It's been a long, hard day. We've had good conversations down there, and you know, I mean, it's all a process.
This happens with us quite a bit, and I'm just not somebody that would be talked over the top of with obfuscated language.
It's learning. The whole thing is about learning and on film. You know, I mean, that's an exercise of education, maybe.
It's why I also sort of get this understanding of an empathy with these, you know, smart, younger, idealist people that have left because they really struggle with that as well, and they've abandoned that. And, you know, I can't blame them, although I'm really disappointed in them. And I really was glad I got the opportunity to say today that I feel betrayed by the comms that we can't get information about what's happening here today onto our sites. I sat in the General Assembly that said, let's trust the comms people that we elect to be on there to get the information out. Let's not have to have them come back to every General Assembly and say, can we do this? Let's just trust that they will do it right. I'm now feeling betrayed.
Yeah, thought about and resolved. And then if we bring our head back, the now Occupy 2.0, and they can start liaising with the other groups, the wider groups, as we've started to do.
Right.
You know, you noticed that on that comment that one of the likes was from Occupy Wall Street. John's written about, you know, we're just a forum for the international. Where's Occupy gone in this stuff that we're writing? And it was so poignant. Cool. It was so poignant because Occupy Wall Street, one of the international groups that came in and liked what we'd said about how the police were going about the trespass and stuff like that. Right. And then that article came out and all that. So, you know, the relationship in New Zealand with the police is excellent. Yeah, and that's what we've got just for
That's
today.
a huge thing to use to the police, to say, hey, you're people. Yeah. You're people, and you're actually acting very well. You're acting very, very well, and you're seeing us as people. And this movement in this city here got hijacked by our General Assemblies turning into hardcore business meetings rather than bloody heart sharings. People weren't able to say, this is who I am and this is why I'm here, because we're so busy sort of saying like, well, I don't, you know, we're voting on pettiness. We really focused on too much. There was a whole lot of I'm not to diminish the importance of some of the issues that were being dealt with, but they became primary rather than something to sort of say, well, we need to deal with this because they're not doing it right. All it's getting is a sort of dump on the site and saying it's not the Occupy. Open your eyes. If it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck.
Why are we worrying about comms? They've got nothing to do with it anymore. They're gone, they're history, they're part of history. Today is a new day.
No, they're not. We've still got all their information.
Because we're helping them to pass it on, like they're helping the people up in Martin. We're doing the same for them. They walked away, we didn't.
No, I'm not.
Still here.
That's right.
Their stuff is still here. Because, hey bro, no one put their tents up but us. Their tents fell over, we put them back up again. They were too lazy to even wash their own dishes. You know, why should we worry about comms anymore?
But I think they will come back, and I think Alice will come back, and I think people will come back.
Because there's a lot of talking but no action. Yeah. Talking doesn't put the tents back up again for people. Yeah. Talking doesn't help these signs get rebuilt. Talking doesn't help the mental health people that came here and disturbed everybody here.
I mean, it can sometimes get pretty robust, the argument can get robust, but no one's really in damage or physical damage, and that's where we must learn to engage. Everywhere people get into a point of conflict where their arguments are so heated, you've got to be able to engage that to the point that we know that no one's in danger so that they can be themselves. Yeah. And that's not going to happen overnight.
That's where the it has to be vacated by 4. That's the deadline. And the unfortunate thing is such a lot of the people who started here have, you know, don't think this is relevant anymore, and it's, you know, that's what I was talking about there. I've been trying to sit in between these groups, and it is relevant. This is the occupation. This is where it's happening. This is the face of where it is, and you know, it's not always pretty. It's not always pretty, but that's life. That's the world we're living in. I'm not going to bag anyone who's walked away because it's really hard-working people with great minds and that have put, you know, that have made sacrifices, made huge sacrifices. A whole lot of students came here, and I don't know if they're going to pass their exams because they put all of their exam time into occupying here at the time. Huge sacrifice. Beautiful people, and you know, there's been times I've not been at the site because I found it too tough. Weather-wise, gee, the weather's been hell here. Yep. People who've stayed here the whole time are frickin' heroes. They've really survived, and some of the people have got a toughness to them that other people find hard to work with. But that toughness has kept this camp together. It's rebuilt it day in, day out. It's sad. But you know, I'm an optimist. I'm ever hopeful that that reconnection, you know, we'll just sort of see sense. And I'm going to be back here at 4 o'clock. when the All Blacks were, well, the Rugby World Cup was going to be celebrated down there, they wanted this area. The police came, said it's going to be cleared, it's going to be everything, and I was liaising at that time, and I said, look, we're having a gathering at 4 o'clock, and we'll come back and tell you what we're doing. And at 10 to 4, the council turned up, and they said, oh, the rugby union have told us they're not going to use it anymore, and you can stay. You know, we weren't not cooperating. We've always cooperated, but it's saying we're here for a reason, and that reason is we want to keep a face going and an energy running about the disparity of wealth distribution in a wealthy country, and that's what it's about. It's not that we don't know what we want. You know, it's not that there's a single thing we want to knock these people off. You know, my heart, I'm staying true to thinking like I just want the best thing for all people in New Zealand, all people in the world, and if we work together on it, the solution will present itself. We don't.
A meeting with Salvation Army Assistance of Competition,
City Mission,
Council Ministry, the police, the council.
I thought that was what was happening at 9 o'clock.
We are asking for a meeting with all these organisations.
Oh, okay, that's what the request is. Okay.
Yeah. So all of the issues of the occupation, and there won't be, you know, I think that they should become centred, and they're not, and we should find out who it is that's going to be at that meeting so we can deal with them. So subsidy is subsidy, affordable living is affordable living.
Right.
And that's a big issue, but we've got to get to the homelessness first so that the council know that they are connected. The judge in Toronto said that, and that's what this thing called the Oaks case is all about. You've got to, as far as I've read so far, or gleaned so far, is if you're going to do something, you've got to have some form of remedy about it. You can't just say, I'm going to put myself here and sit and wait and grow fat and then I'll die. You've got to actually be assertive. And so that's what we should be doing. We should be connecting these people with what it is that the Occupy movement wants. And so homelessness is the direction, and thereafter, but because this is wider, the issues are wider than council, we want to have anybody else who's affected by the Occupy movement in this hui. So we're effectively, as I understand, will be able to create a hui rather than a court. Courts aren't the place in New Zealand to get justice. So if we have we organise a hui, we make our stand and have our say, and as disciplined and as well organised as we possibly can, we get anybody to come.
Here's what we think is going to happen as a group. They're going to come and meet up on the bridge here. I don't know how many, you know, there's 600 people have ticked it on Facebook, but you know, if 10% of them turn up, who knows? And he said, so let me read it back to you. You're against the 1%, and I said, no, hang on, no. What we are, we're pro the 99%, which in fact it includes the police as well. So you know, it was straight away saying we're all in the same basket together.
Every day they see these matters. Every day they know where the institutions agree with them because that's their job. You know, they have a job to look at this stuff.
The homeless people, if anything, for this camp here alone, just they put 110% into this camp, and they're still doing it. Right? I've got a house up the road there. I haven't been in it for 2 months.
And what I'm trying to say here is that Occupy 2.0 needs to come back. We just need to reunite. And the first yards were really hard yards. Hard weather, hard people, hard talk. Ideals all on the table, nothing really resolved, frustration, conflict, those things all occurred, and the holiday was very attractive. And so now that they're back into their ordinary life, then it will start to settle.